I want to talk about the residual daily science, and it's different. It's a different DS, Nintendo DS, than the original release of the remakes. Um, this is like a complete new Resident Evil for me because um, it has a lot of things in it that was like more harder. I think the DS focused more on the players than like focusing on like in the new. Then like do focus on like both. Like I know that want the new ones or to play um with Resident Evil. That's why they made it simple. Then like really focusing on the main players to like have make it very difficult. That's why they did the chainsaw mode in Resident Evil 4, the demo, and they didn't put all in Resident Evil 4 remake or update or this has classic mode and rebirth. I really enjoy this, and if you type Resident Evil Deadly Silence, it's like two. Um, it really could, Resident Evil remake really could be like Resident Evil Deadly Silence 2. Cause this is different, you know. This is like rated 18. The game of this DS is that I feel like this doesn't feel. I think this like make on the smartness, and this is how I know to some Resident Evil would have been if it was rated 18. That would be something like Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil remake is like I don't know what rated it is. Um, but if Resident Evil was rated 18, that means the original Resident Evil could have been, like Resident Evil Code Veronica remake, or a Resident Evil Zero remake, Resident Evil 1 remake, or Resident Evil Vendetta. It could be um like the Switch kind of focus, but like I say, it's different. I'm glad that it came to the PlayStation and such, so consoles, so that it could be released. Then taking long how I read the Switch was or the GameCube, and if it wasn't on Switch exclusively, it probably would take more years. That's the reason why this is like independent um Resident Evil is, and that's why they released their own versions and consoles, and in that 2 years release each separately from Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 4 remake. Uh, this has the this has the classic mode and rebirth mode. And the rebirth has like I see why it's in um like portable devices to play, so that that's why it was more, you know. It was like perhaps more animations to do, and I like that, you know, with the screen, and then you like doing puzzles and such, and that whereas you never had in the original or the PS Vita, that's like a screen that you could use a pen or something and touch the screen of the game, and you could like it's different, you know, do puzzles um and such. It's different from the PS Vita didn't have and yes, um it's very different from the games. and it's very hard. That's why this is how I know about the Resident Evil series. The harder it could be. Okay, it has Rebirth. It has classic mode. Rebirth is a lot harder. It's like first person that could be, and it's a lot different from. It's a lot different from um.
What is this? Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
It's very hard from.
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it? Maybe it's Chris.
It's very hard the game. The longer it take, like you could still pause, but it's a lot different. The longer it take, the more monsters and zombies coming in. Like how we mentioned from Resident Zero, from Edward. I think Resident Zero is the one that built up Resident 1, but this is the original. But there isn't another mansion from Resident Zero, and and there's the where zombies could come in the beginning of the entrance, and it's a very hard game. It's very hard.
What? What is this?
What is it?
Blood.
It's different, you know.
See if you can find any other
I
clues
prefer the
before
remake,
examining this.
and the Resident Zero.
Blood.
That story because it makes sense of the Bravo team and the different. But that's a kind of made up. Like the original, they all went to this mansion. How Bravo team will fit in, I'm not sure, and that's why they did the Resident Zero remake. That explained well, because that would make sense to like a different things that they added. But if they'd gone to the original, I think the Bravo team will not have its separate story. It will probably go straight to this mansion, and that will kind of be a letdown because if they do that, Resident 1 will have like how it is from the original. So they meet or Chris meet Rebecca from Alpha Team, but they will not have like from the separate story of how Billy survived in the end, the villain from the game of Resident Zero. That's why they created. Like that's how it started, you know, the villains. That's how the movie CGI was made, you know, from Resident Zero. And Resident 6. Resident 6 also has one too. Tough time for them. Not too much. Um, but Resident Evil Zero set up the the stage for Resident Evil, the characters to have a hard time. This is very hard, you know. And that's why they got this thing from Welcome Raccoon City, you know, where the first zombie, and then but they put Rico from Bravo Team. Like that's why it's better like from the original, you know, and have like from the original with different mansions, and that's how Bravo Team had its own story, and Billy Quinn able to shine uh because there's like a villain, and how he saved Bravo Team member, and that separate ending what would have been like a DLC where Rebecca returned to the mansion, and then they used the story from Dark Side Chronicles could be, and have the Dark Side Chronicles, and then have um Rebecca and Richard surviving, and then the ending of Zero could be with the snake biting Richard, and that's the end of the game with the remake of Resident Zero could be if it's ever made. Um, that's the point that like how original Resident Evil players will know the direction will be, because that's how a Resident Evil player know if they play a lot. They kind of could tell. And like this is different. The Resident Evil Zero remake. The Resident Evil Deadly Silence. This is Resident Evil 1, but I I really don't want that trying to predict what will it be. Like I would try to predict if it ever come. For Resident Evil 1, the mansion probably will be about this, and Bravo team, how they will fit in the Bravo team members, but how they gonna get killed off if they come to in this series, going into this series, and how they will fit it in,
What is this all about?
and
Can't figure it out at all.
Beats me too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room
like
again.
how will they fit in Resident Evil
On the opposite side.
Deadly Silence?
Mansion is
Like
gigantic.
it's a what if Resident Evil Silence was a remake?
We should start from the first floor.
I really don't want that to be in this direction
Here's a locker.
from the original.
It might be handy if you
It should be inspiration
take it with you.
from
Thanks.
or used from the Resident Evil GameCube one, from Resident Evil Zero remake and Resident Evil 1, and not the Resident Evil one with the original of how Waka Rackham City did. Like that probably will not make sense because I prefer like Bravo Team, Billy Colin and Rebecca, how they became partners and survived in the woods. You know, what makes Billy separate story, surviving in the forest or something like that. Or not like this, how it will fit in with Bravo Team. Like that will not make sense, you know? Like I don't see how it will fit in, and if they all go in the same spot in the mansion, how will the Bravo team will fit in when Alpha team comes in later? This this is gonna be hard in the situation of switching stories when if Rico gets killed and one come back, that way like how would the Bravo team will start off if the remake will it's an inspiration will goes to this direction. Um, that will not make sense, you know, because like I'm not a beta tester, but I'm just explaining as a player, like how will it fit in if a remake would be made. Like Code Veronica, I see why they will cut some ammunition, but this classic Rebirth is different. You're able, it's a lot different than the consoles, and I see why the Resident Evil Revelation came to the 3DS, but it was the first time ever, you know. It was focused, but it didn't brought the original Resident Evil Revelation, you know. And how will it fit in if they do like a temporary exclusive Wimmers with Revelation 3? I That's like a bad thing for me because they say Wimmers are gonna change the race of the characters. It will be like similar to the movies of how they did with the characters, you know. I really don't want that. On the fact to infect the games, that probably will not be a good direction for players, and they will not be interested to play it. That what my opinion will be. They probably will not play it if they change the race because of the characters. Like how will they do if Revelation 3 does come and it's temporary exclusive? Um, I prefer like Resident Evil Vendetta, you know, be able to do this, you know, zombies. That's why it's different from it's a lot harder. There's no health, there's no um herb to recover. It's all about skills and surviving in this mansion. That's why it's a lot better the DS than the PS Vita. That's why they put Resident Evil this generation in mobile because it was a lot different, but they didn't use those mechanics. The DS was a lot different. I see why it was a lot carrying. I see why the GameCube was the first that they made for exclusive to 0 and 1, but it took a while for for it to be like an exclusive thing. It's good, you know, it's a good thing than how Resident Evil Village was, how Resident Evil 4 Remake was, where it was just only on Xbox and PlayStation for Resident Evil 4 Remake. I prefer exclusive because I see why this is the Resident Deadly Science of this version. Even so, it doesn't look exclusive, but it is because it has mechanics, it has like a lot of ammunition. There's a difference between the Xbox, PlayStation, and the PlayStation Vita, and that's why it's a lot different. It was you could do things in the game of this DS and that you can't do in the Xbox and PlayStation. Like you have to use you have to be aware, and this one you have to like there's different dialogue from the mansion. I can run different mansion, different situation that the player will face. This is a good direction, you know. And then this is that's how I know from Resident Evil Remake was, and how Resident Evil 3 Remake is. Right, the timing of this too. That's how they use the timing from Resident Evil 2 Remake. If you speedrun the game, you have a bad time with such, and that's why it's hard, you know. That's how they put speedrunning. That's how I got that idea from Resident Evil Deadly Silence and Resident Evil Zero with its that started the CGI series, the villain, and I really like that direction of that's why it was in GameCube, you know. If it was in PlayStation or or such, I don't know how it would be. Or if Resident Evil Zero comes to the original Resident Evil Zero comes to Nintendo 64, I see why it's different, you know. But the GameCube one started the CGI for me and the direction, and even this speedrun direction that I got from this Resident Deadly Silence, you know. And there's a lot of things that this has than Sega consoles that didn't have. Sega will have been perfect for the Resident Evil series to come. How they did with the Resident Evil Vendetta, the movie. This makes sense for the how the GameCube came and that was exclusive to GameCube. I see why it was different than this universe that they created. There's three universes: the 1.5, the universe of the like some Hollywood version, but it's just that the version of the consoles of the story, how they separate the Bravo team. They were all together in this original of the 1996 Resident Evil 1. They made it into why is it that they changed it separately to put it into the GameCube? They put Bravo team into this new mansion that no one expect. And that I like that. I enjoy that story. Billy Colin, Rebecca Chambers surviving and surviving and how they meet Dr. Marcus. 10 years ago, I have been assassinated by Wesker, and it's something like that from the voice of Dr. Marcus from Resident Evil Zero. Like I didn't do it perfectly, but just how he sounds, and that's it. And then Billy's like, "You pay what you did," or something like that. And I like that dialogue, and it's interesting. And see how Resident Evil Zero One, like that's why the Switch was a thing for like to be. I think they didn't want to put it like hardware or something. That's how Metal Gear Solid 3 came to 3DS and Resident Evil Revelation. I like I like the using the screen, like picking my choosing my inventory and or doing animation or do time event action buttons to do. No, this is how I know some few things the speed running time, the Resident Evil 2 remake, the timing if the player takes so long. It's like similar to Resident Evil Outbreak, but where players pause but it didn't stop the game. It still continues, zombies enter doors. The rebirth is a lot different. This has multiplayer. This has multiplayer from Resident Evil Deadly Silence. There was my thought. I thought thinking it would have been a Resident Evil Vendetta similar, multiplayer, surviving, a mansion. This has the multiplayer in it, but it was in the DS. But then PlayStation and Xbox or PlayStation didn't care about that. Or it it did show their logo, their name in the movies, but not on console. Like they not take part of it. Like how The Last of Us did with, and it has Sony or PlayStation because it's with Care or something like that. This she is a lot different. This one is a lot different as zombies, and it's a lot different than the Resident Evil 1 1996. Um, so remember, yeah, it's a lot different from the 1996 PlayStation Resident Evil. Um, it's very interesting to see if this is being made into a remake. I don't think no. Like, that's why the Nintendo will have Revelation 3, but it's a bad thing because they're gonna change the race. I really don't want that direction of trying to tell the players of some race or something. I really don't want that. I really want to keep it how it is from the original, from the Resident Evil Zero GameCube and such. And this is a very tough situation that I'm in this because I have to be aware because this is very tough. The longer you take, I don't know much about zombies entering like how Resident Evil 2 was in PlayStation, where it took so long and then they break through from RPD and they went through the window. And there's a bunch of them. This is different. This is how welcome I can see as with the zombies. There's more zombies in here. You know, there's could have been. I could imagine a Resident Evil 1 remake will be made, but I'm not sure if it was like this direction. Maybe mansion zombies will appear in the mansion. No, it'd be good to see. Challenge like similar to Resident Evil Chainsaw Mode demo, and have that situation in the game because I see why didn't there's not no update for like the chainsaw mode that I would like to see for Resident Evil 4 remake update. Difficulty than just professional. I like that chainsaw mode, one life, one only, surviving, use your skills, be aware if you want in a situation if you want to use your bullets or save it or escape. I like that planning they did with the demo, but then it came to an update. That's how it would be like similar to Resident Evil 3 situation, the remake, where everything all came in, but then that's it. That's all you have from the remake. And that's all it has is the situation that Resident Evil has with with the mechanics of how Resident Evil is. That's why like I'm coming like the few players that I know that I am a few players that like that situation and explaining, and maybe other players didn't explain about this. This is very tough that I'm in. I have to use my items. I like the smartness. This is like speed running. But they use more of the turning and such like some skills tech um techniques to survive to have a faster time. It's like a revelation. But Resident Evil 2, I see why they did that. But I don't want like the 1996 Resident Evil 1. For me, I don't want that because they could show the forest. They could show the chopper coming in, and I would be playable, be with the stars members or something. And if you, this is how Resident Evil gonna be in the remake. Is it gonna be the 1996 Resident Evil? But they not gonna put Bravo Team in it? Because they mentioned they didn't like Bravo Team. They didn't like Rebecca Chambers, the character. You know? That's why. They didn't like Rebecca Chambers. That's what they say, one of the developers, that they didn't like and that's why Bravo Team is good. That's why they set up the stage for Resident Evil 1. Because without the Resident Evil Zero remake that I know from, Bravo Team, the Resident Evil 1 doesn't exist. That's why they put these zombies, so many zombies, of this surviving, helping each other, similar to Resident Evil Outbreak, then just a shooting game multiplayer thing. It could be just go back to survivor horror, similar to the Resident Evil Outbreak, helping teammate carry them, save them in the safe room. But it would be similar to Resident Evil Outbreak, and just like combined with deadly science smartness, and coming through the window from the forest where it said where I like the dialogue from Resident Evil Zero from Edward when he came in. Is that Rebecca, you must be careful. There will be zombies and monsters, and this is the what players wanted. Difficulty, like they put that in The Last of Us, but why not Resident Evil has it? They did listen, but they put in the demo chainsaw mode. No, I don't know if there will be a big update on that. Like how they get the updates on their game later on. Like Resident Evil probably will not. It's different, how the other games get updates and not Resident Evil. To have that to focus on the main players that brought the Resident Evil, maybe? Or is it the CGI? Or why it didn't come to the US? To the CGI series? This is hard, you know? I didn't I think I did put rebirth mode or not. This is hard. It is similar, but it's different. There's more puzzles. That's how it's different, you know. That's how it's similar to Resident Evil 3, you know. The old days where you can't pass it. It would take 10 years or something until internet was made, and now you could beat it. Now you could beat Resident Evil 3. It's like this. Then the DS is similar to Resident Evil 3. You can't beat it. You don't know the puzzles. You don't know how to do this. You know. It says it's focusing on like the older players, and this one from the DS really that explained well than how the remake was focusing on the new than the older players or something. This is the like focusing on the older players. You know, difficulty hard. That's very hard. It's like professional. You know, you take there's a smart speed running thing. How Resident 2 remake has. It's kind of changed that in Resident 4 remake. Then Resident 3. Resident 3 also has it too. The smart turning and such for faster time. In Resident 4, the chainsaw mode, it just the timing, that's animation, you know. But this would have been interesting to see if they put chainsaw mode in the first time ever into a Resident 4 update. Then just Last of Us hasn't having all the like the glory and the updates and such. I enjoy The Last of Us, you know, Last of Us Part 2. Like I thought they would have take that inspiration from it for the difficulty, you know. This is hard, you know. The zombie moves hard faster. You saw that? It's a lot different. It still looks the same, but it's not. You're gonna see that the longer you take in this problem, the harder it will be. So remember how to like the harder you take, the longer more zombies coming in, you know? That's the difference between the dogs from the forest from the beginning of the GameCube wasn't able to enter the door because the player needs to go to the door and open it for them so the zombie dogs come in. This is different. This is they could come in anytime they want. The longer you take, you know, this is a universe of Resident Evil. This is the universe of Resident Evil that they from Resident Evil 3 remake. The example from where players didn't understand the game why Nightmare was different from the original because Zombie Brad came from the window. This is the universe, you know. This is not the game anymore. The universe of Resident Evil now. Now you see the character point of view and there's puzzles, you know. There's like a chest. Look, there's puzzles that you probably don't know how to pass it. You know, this is an example of that. Resident Evil 3 original where that no players could beat it. No, you have to look it up when the internet was made, and that's why it didn't sell well, but it was a good survival horror. It was super scary, you know. That's why they decided to went to a different direction. This is the smartness, you know. This is the smartness that Resident Evil had before, similar to Dino Crisis. Dino Crisis 1, 2. No, this is hard, you know. You can't beat it. You know, the pass it. You know, you need to look it up the internet. No most players not explaining this. Resident Evil Deadly Silence and Resident Evil 3 is like that, you know. There's a puzzle, you know, you need to know. Um, to beat it. To beat the game. Like there's a lot different, you know, from the PlayStation, the GameCube. Why some mechanics was removed, you know, it's because the GameCube was the one that made Resident Evil 1 remake, not PlayStation. GameCube is the one that made Resident Evil 1 remake, Resident Evil 0. Because that's why it was made. Nintendo wanted it, the title, you know, they did it with Revelation way back with the 3DS, the 3DS, and then it used to cost 185 something, 185, and it was just exclusive to 3DS. Then it went to consoles, you know, like now maybe it's like a guess prediction. The Resident Evil 1 comes to the Switch or whatever it ever be again. Well, this is the rumor is not confirmed with Revelation 3 will come to GameCube, to Nintendo. It's just a rumor, but if the Resident Evil 1 comes to the Switch also, then just the PlayStation, they probably will have invincible mode. They probably have one dangerous zombie. They probably will put like multiplayer, zombie surviving, zombies doors, safe rooms, harder, saving your teammate, saving use first spray aid to help your teammate, or like simulation outbreak, or or surviving, helping them, blocking the door. That could be something like how Resident Evil Silence has its mechanic, that it has. Its mechanic is different. You see why it's different because it has different mechanics, different puzzles and such. You know, you do puzzles. You know, this is a lot different. You know, there's more stuff in it that maybe they didn't think the players would like to do this. It's a lot different. Um, I like I say, I know a few things about the Resident Evil series. It's just my prediction never comes true when it's all combined. Maybe the GameCube could be, but like you said, the GameCube was just on its own, and that's why there is Invincible mode. There was like it focused on the main players than the new, or it focused on Invincible mode, the difficult dodging, the timing. This is harder, and you waste bullets faster and the using a shotgun because you need to use island management to survive. They were not gonna do that. Preparation 3 ever comes, it's a good thing, you know. It's very good for Preparation 3 because will be we don't know what difficulty it will be. Um, but I really hope that Resident Evil 1 comes to the Switch or Nintendo exclusively. Um, this is just for the players, not for me. But this is just my opinion. But if it comes to how it was from the GameCube, like how it was, where you didn't have nothing to say because it came to the GameCube, it was good. As like everything, you know, invincible mode, dangerous zombie. This has multiplayer, you know. Well, this have less time. Now, what the multiplayer will be for this Resident Evil? Um, they say that will ruin the game. Oh, this will be like surviving. It could be similar to the campaign, you know, for Resident Evil 1. surviving of all stars members, or you could leave them. You know how Resident Evil 1 was in the queue? You leave all the characters because you didn't save them, and then one bad ending, you beat the fastest time because the player is kind of sweating, don't want to stay long because it's very difficult, and that's why they beat it. You know, the fastest time. That's how they knew that route, that rotation, or the direction that they know, and that's how they beat it. That's why they explain well. It could be like similar to Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 1. If there was like a timer, there could be a countdown. You know, a timer. If the player took so long and they didn't beat it, or they didn't have the Ivans, you know, it could start. You know how William Birkins mentioned that it will leave, so it's gonna blow up the mansion. It could be similar to that, but I think it will not because um Rebecca probably will still be there. They will still be stuck in the mansion. The perhaps there would be more zombies. I don't know how we would deal with that with a multiplayer situation. Like you could also leave your teammate. Oh, it could be like that. You know, from outbreak, get a choice, saving them, or just leave them because you will have to get out from the mansion, get your award or some type of way direction. You know, but I didn't think the crazy people will have that. You know, um, that's why I prefer the Switch and the PlayStation. Because it has been removing some mechanics. Resident Evil 4 hasn't, you know, finally. Resident Evil 4 hasn't, you know, the damage is harder, you know, it could be one hit. The chainsaw mode already has that, you know. Yeah, you start over. There's no save files. There's no nothing that you could do. Cause now you're playing Resident Evil 4, you know. It's harder. You can imagine if it was a multiplayer in a mansion, first time ever. What than just raid mode or variation? Um, like variation, you could have zombies, you know, for the story of the character. That players wanted to see, but it never came. That they changed it. This could be a multiplayer, you know. Surviving, going to the chopper, your teammates, saving. You have could be Barry, you know. It could be just 4 players, 2 players with Joe and Barry surviving, or campaign multiplayer with them, surviving, helping them. If they're down, the cow raiser outbreak. If they're down, you have to pick them up and take them to the next area or the safe room. Leave them there so you get the safe first aid spray. Why would not be like that? You know, and not like blocking doors. You know, or it could that be used if it's just a online co-op thing. The coverage zero is just blocking the door because more zombies could come in. The character perhaps will have a stamina limit limit limit. The longer it took, the zombie could enter still. You know, this one shows like how the longer the time daily silence, the more zombies come in. This is how it is. This daily silence. How I got that direction. This is how I got the Resident 3 will have had with Nemesis entering safe rooms because we're focusing on the main players, no? But it's not focusing on players. You lose you lose your items, you use your ammunition too fast. This is good, you know. And this a player will probably not know that you save your ammunition, items. That's why it's different, you know, puzzles and how Jill react to Richard. This part, that's the DS of this. I don't know what rated it is. This they got Resident 3, you know. That's why they use this universe. It shows the universe of this, the rebirth. That's why they got that. But they didn't put like call it rebirth in Resident 3, you know. Nemesis Inferno or Nightmare will have been added this the difficulty rebirth. No, but they didn't. But they used the universe of this and put Zombie Brad in the separate window, you know? The scariness that you know from Resident Evil. Like, so smart, you see? Just another zombie. Two zombies could bite the player, or three zombies. It could be three. Like Resident 3 did have a chance. Resident 3 did have a chance with three zombies, right? But they didn't put that, you know? Like I say, I'm not good with the rebirth. It's harder. Boris could come in. Boris was the example that entered doors. Boris was a super zombie. That's similar to Zombie Brad. I don't like super zombies because that's why they put a crimson head, you know? And I like how a player using the knife to take down the zombie in the ground could be invincible, you know? Because the Stars members doesn't know how to do that. Maybe defense Ivan won't be a thing, you know? If they use similar to Resident 3 Wing War of the zombie brat direction where it came from the window, or more to it. Well, I don't think my prediction will never comes correctly when some some Resident Evil
No, but
will
something is
not
wrong
what my prediction will be.
This hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better
Prep
to
2 will go straight
first.
to PlayStation,
There must be a
Xbox.
back door somewhere.
The Switch was different, you know. The GameCube was different. Resident Zero.
Okay, let's separate again.
They say they don't want to see Resident Zero. For me, I do. 'Cause that's how he started the CGI series.
Weapon. It's
And
really
more
powerful.
zombies, more difficulty.
Better keep
A chance
But how about you,
um,
Barry?
with
I have this.
separate campaign.
Thank you.
Billy Conan.
Yes, then.
Or not. Code Veronica. That's why the fans made a fan game with Resident Evil Code Veronica. And it shows Steve on a separate campaign. They probably went perhaps saw the kind of the examples from like how they know from Resident Evil 3 remake, Resident Evil Deadly Silence. They use that, you know, more with Code Veronica, with Steve, separate campaign. They perhaps focusing on the main players than the new one. I didn't know it was Forrest or Foster Resident will awaken. There is I know if he will. Oh, he does wake up. This is a grade 18. It could be, you know. I see why it's different. Oh, no one mentioned about this. I feel like this could be radiation. There's not a lot of gore, you know. They put gore for one reason. They hit the zombie in the ground. I don't like that, you know. Claire and Leon don't know how to hit the zombie with a knife. They try that. The zombies just be invincible, you know. A shield protection. They be just active when if the player come near them, you know. But I see why defense Ivan was not a good thing. The grenade. We might use some examples of playthrough in Resident 3. I don't use the grenade, use a knife because that's how these characters they don't know how to survive the zombie. Oh, I just went with my playthrough. I know very tough. I'm in the DS. This is very tough. This is like Radiate, you know. It has more puzzles, more caring. They kind of do care the players than how PlayStation is treating the Resident Evil. Or PlayStation is not part of it, or never say didn't say anything with mention anything about Resident Evil. That's why it has didn't have like invincible mode, didn't have players chainsaw mode update for the player for Resident Evil. No director cut in Resident 3, you know. I think all the Resident Evil would have been is the what if it gone straight to Nintendo. Oh, then it would be difficult, you know. Then it would be like, will make sense. But good thing it goes straight to consoles, you know. I see why it's different. You know, it's different on the channel is with Resident Evil. That kind of word of part of Resident Evil being like these birds, see? Birds. There's birds in Resident Evil. See, I told you this is a different universe. I want to see more with how Resident Evil 3 remake did. You know, with the to use it more with the Resident Evil zombie brad entered through the doors. No, it came from the window. You know. Now you see that it's not a game anymore. You know, you're in the universe of Resident Evil. This is a universe. This is not the game anymore. This is the universe of Resident Evil. This one bird shows, you know. It could show, they could enter again, you know, more zombies coming in. The longer the player takes it, because this is not like a movie, you know. It would be interesting to see if they use more of the mechanic and just use zombies entering such. You know, this is how I know from Resident Evil. Yeah, I'm being aware that I'm going because because anything is possible. They could pop out of nowhere. How that bird came out. I want to see if the dogs already entered to the mansion, because they could enter any moment. You know. I'm gonna check. Just I like Jill more. No, that's what and Chris and Rebecca. Wesker, no, yeah, I do care about Wesker. But the most is Jill, Chris, Rebecca, not Claire, not Leon. I do care about Claire more than Leon. Um, they're not entering the door, but they could come out from the mansion. The longer you take, it will happen. I'm not sure if I'm in rebirth mode. No, that's why Resident Evil is the first, and just Final Fantasy did. They're the first, and all it's just that Resident Evil um went that direction. You know, that's why M2. I like M2 more than the main Resident Evil team because they did this universe. They showed the universe of Carlos. You know, it would be different. You know, but they went the inspiration. But they did use this universe. You know, they did do a good thing with the zombie Brad popping out in the window. You don't want to see that scare ever again. Oh, it's very good. Look, there's another bird. Look at that. They're already. This is different. The mansion. You know, it's haunted. Cause the zombies already in the mansion. Um, these a lot different. You know, they can even break through the window. You ever see the beta from Resident Zero? And Resident Zero, it shows the N64 when it would have been released. That game was more different than Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil um, 3. Resident Evil 3 is more like this universe. Resident Evil 3 is more original. I see why it was went to PlayStation. Why I see why Resident Evil 3 is more like this universe, more like a movie universe came to life from in the game now, where it's playable. Then just watch a CGI movie. Like for example, just to watch a CGI movie, it's like similar to The Last of Us Part 2, you know? It's like that universe more than Last of Us 1. I prefer The Last of Us Part 2 because it's like more like this universe, you know? Came to life. And I thought they used that example. Resident Evil already did, you know? They were the first, you know? Resident Evil already did. Then 64 was more than Resident Evil 1. I give, but it was just a beta, you know? It never was released. They still have it, but they never released it. It's just demos, and, and it shows first person, the mod, first person, Resident Evil 1 with Rebecca. I've seen other star members. Like that's the example I say how they will fit in, because it will show a preview of a mod, will show a preview of Rebecca entering the mansion, and they saw their star members, but they were already getting killed off, you know? They show more, you know, they show another Bravo team was running away, he was shooting, and then there was a flash of bullets popping, like flashlights pop up, or fireworks, some type of way. They ran away, you know? That's why it's like different, you know? They didn't use that more. This could be, you know, N64, the train, where it's not start, the train didn't start in Resident Zero. Rebecca was seeing through the window, and there's a zombie. There's a zombie through the window. They could have grabbed the player and game over. They already put two zombies, but they could bite the player. They didn't put like three zombies. They don't put mercenaries of characters or players playing. They think that they will move on, but don't get killed off. That type of Ketamon. Look, see, it's a lot different. I'm leaving. It's a lot different. Look, another puzzle, you see? It's like that's how they got the Revelation 2, you know? Revelation 2? But this is harder, you know? Very hard. That most players wanted back. Some from Resident Evil 3, from puzzles of the water sample, and very hard, you know? There's nothing to look up, there's nothing to have to beat, you know? That's why it's one of them that I kinda know about Resident Evil Deadly Silence. This, like, perhaps secretly was in there, the DS that no one knew or whatever that I didn't know. I didn't know that I was focusing on the main players, you know. I would have switched to play in the Switch or only never if it Resident what if Resident Evil did came to the Switch only on consoles? That mean that mean the main players will be on the Switch because he's focusing on the main players than the new. You know, that's how they brought the CGI, but they didn't focus on the main players that got the Resident Evil going. They went to the CGI, but they didn't release in the US. It came into a DVD. I'm not some expert on survival horror, or as a player, I'm not an expert in that. I just know that you see previews, mods, previews, and such that would have been, you know, Nemesis, playable Nemesis. Look, it's a lot different. I don't know much about the PlayStation 1 mechanics. Oh, this is the universe. No, look, another one. Running. Look, another one. The longer you take, it's like Resident Evil Outbreak, but it's not. It's just timing. The longer you take, you know, that's how Revelation 2 puzzle was made. I know a lot about Resident Evil, you know, like I'm not an expert. Never say I'm not expert. I just know what the Resident Evil was. That's why Death Island was made. Movie. They even bite harder. How it would be, you know, if they remove things. That's why they take too much inspiration, you know. Took some too much and did not focus on the main players for a while, and then showing an example that they didn't focus on them for the Death Island. They would have go and watch the movie in the US, but then just have to drive somewhere, some other countries just to watch it. Like that is, I don't know much about business, you know. I would have to just focus on the main players, you know. This is this is different. This I'm not gonna jinx it if this game doesn't focus in on the main players. It kind of is, but I'm not sure 100%. But the GameCube did, you know, the GameCube, the the level, the difficulty, the backtracking, puzzles. This would have been like the home of Resident Evil to the Switch. Innocent exclusive wasn't a thing. It was on GameCube for a while until it went to the consoles, PlayStation, I didn't say. Only Resident Evil 3 it did. You know, Resident Evil 3, one time they did with Resident Evil 3. they put into a movie more like this universe, Resident Zero, but they didn't focusing on them much anymore. You say Witcher, this is the difference between Resident Evil 1, the PlayStation, and the Switch. No, PlayStation, the difference between the Switch, no, the difference between PlayStation and Xbox with the Switch. This has some smartness. This is focusing on the main players. Like, if you say Witcher, there's like a different animation that will coming up when you're saving him. You could like there's like a Jill is giving a kiss, I'm sure, and you hold it, to kill off Witcher. Like some players will do that, I see why they do that, so that kill off Witcher, so that they beat it in as fast as time. Like I have a Mansion King already surviving. I chose Jill because she's from Palpatine. Like I see why it's different from Palpatine. Like how that's why welcome CD. Like players want to say, where's Rebecca? Where's Billy? This is Rico. Why made weak? They did that. What? It's okay, I really did enjoy it, welcome CD. It's just they would have done just put Nemesis and really Birkins in it too if they wanted. Like, similar to the Snyder cut. Oh, yeah, I like this one because that's first person. You can fight against zombie. Like it really show. This is the. I just wanted to show this part where Jill will save Richard. I wanted to get that part to show like this is why this is like 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. This version of Resident Evil because it has multiplayer, focusing on the player. I don't think Resident Evil ever care about Game of the Year. But Resident 2 Remake did had, and Resident 4 does too. Look, there will be a that's what I will put this like a separate between PlayStation and the Switch. It's just that the Switch is different. They don't focus on Resident Evil. I'm glad it isn't in there, It probably would have been a big problem with the Switch. But good thing it's on PlayStation, focusing on them. They're independent, they're owned by the Switch or Nintendo, whatever. It's owned by independent themselves. That's why it's a good thing, It's good than having some be part and just Switch and you can't live stream it. That would be a big problem on that. Then it's independent, able to stream the Resident Evil maybe. Yeah, maybe players didn't know that direction too. That I'm giving to a few hints. So, get into the mansion. This is it. I wanted to show this part, the difference between PlayStation and Xbox. Nintendo is 10 out of 10, just like Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 1. That's why the CGI came because of Nintendo is the one that did it. If it was exclusive, all Resident Evil comes to Nintendo, there will be a problem. Just like the Super Mario's, that you can't stream it because they'll probably get banned. Everything this is independent. It's on Resident Evil is independent. That's why you're able to stream the Resident Evil game. Is the good thing it's not. I don't know about Resident Evil 6. 6 you could. I don't know about Revelation 3.
Richard, what happened?
Vendetta could be exclusive to PlayStation. Just like Resident Evil 3 they did. Look, this is the difference, you know, this is it. I could kill off Richard. Just kill him off, see? There's a difference. You know, that's why Resident Evil 3 was different. Remake, but not like that direction, you know? This is the universe Resident Evil, you know? Jill could do that and kill off just Richard, you know? They just go and find the serum, the cure to save Richard. Look, that's why it's 10 out of 10. That's why Nintendo won it. But I'm glad it's not on Nintendo because it is. There are probably problems. The problem live streaming. That's why the studio Resident Evil is independent. Didn't got bought. Just like the X-Men. 20th Century Fox was independent, you know. It was a good thing for them, you know. That's why the Logan was a lot different than the comics from the Marvel universe. I don't know if it was a thing. Oh, related to the comics? No? I'm not sure it's related, but if it's made up, it's good, you know? Different universes. That's why Marvel bought them. Resident Evil didn't got bought. Square Enix didn't got bought. I really don't want Sega didn't got bought. It's just that Sega focusing on Sonic and did that Resident Evil Vendetta. They're still part of it because their studio made an emulation from Resident Evil Vendetta and Death Island also. I think they're still part of it, it's just that they don't want to put their name in it, logo. That's why this is 10 out of 10, you know? You kill off Witcher now. See? Richard doesn't say anything in the beginning. It was unconscious. You could have saved him. A choice whether you want to save him. They didn't put this in Resident Evil 1, the remake. But they put that choice where the player get a choice to finish it fast because this would probably be harder to beat. Oh, that's what this is 10 out of 10. Resident Evil, the Deadly Silence is 10 out of 10. The Rebirth, the first one ever than just Final Fantasy did a Rebirth. This is the first ever did the Rebirth. That's why the developers, or I don't know much about Resident Evil. They will have take it first, like they usually do, you know. But they don't want to. They don't want to. But the movies, they did. The movies, they did. They decided to do it, but it's different, you know. It's not anyone like how GameCube was. That direction. Resident Evil was already on its own, you know. Resident Evil this generation. Damnation, Vendetta, Death Island, the Resident Evil 4 remake. No updates. It would be like similar to Resident Evil 3 remake, but we're not sure if I'm not jinx it. There's still a chance for them for Resident Evil 4 remake to have chainsaw mode. There's still a chance. If not, it'll be like similar to Resident Evil 3 remake where there's no any update. perhaps will not be a director cut. Maybe there will be, or a next Resident Evil will be. And this is the, I just wanted to show this playthrough all the way where I got to Witcher. You don't, this is the smart way where you don't find the cure to save Witcher. You just kill him off, you know? That's how that direction of the smartness players knows when with Resident Evil 1 remake GameCube when games become a remaster. And then Resident Evil 0, rescue mode, and different stuff. There's no smartness in Resident Evil 0, I think there is, but there's not like similar to Resident Evil 1, where you do that, you know, um, escape and that's his time. You leave everyone behind, you know. A multiplayer will be a thing. You see a player like this, a player, you could save him, carry him, like similar to Resident Evil Outbreak, like that, saving, not gonna be like that problem. But if you have like how resistant is, you could leave. You unlock everything in Resident Evil Resistance, but the mastermind for Resident Evil Resistance too hard to beat because the puzzles, the zombies keep popping up in this area. And that's why the players had a choice to leave their teammates behind. That's the thing also. It's just a game multiplayer, but this would be interesting if this was a mansion multiplayer to be. First time ever in the Resident Evil 1, how deadly silence was. It's zombie tearing it, help the teammate. Maybe if it was co-op in Resident Evil 0, you perhaps will block the door or have an option just in case option just in case if just in case if the player doesn't want the other teammate to block how they did in Resident Evil Outbreak where they are toilers in that situation, you know, maybe give the player a chance for them to have an option to disable the blocking the door so that they don't block it and make the player get killed off in the Resident Evil Outbreak that the toilers that I know from, you know, and so that the player had a chance to, they could also have an option to kick them out in their online. I don't know how Resident co-op will be in Resident 0 will be. If there ever was a co-op, they could help the teammate carry them like that Revelation was, use the mechanic from Resident Outbreak and Resident 0 mechanic using the Revelation and Resident 0 Revelation Outbreak combined and save the teammate, helping them, blocking the door. If they could kick them out also, you know, and they could go back to their settings and disable blocking door because not have another player do that to them while they want to survive and work as a team and play the game, you know, and not have them blocking, get them to get killed off, you know. They don't want that, you know. This is survival or like PvE, you know. But I don't think they don't want to do that. The team of Resident Evil didn't want to do that. Because it did show like a concept art, something, rumors and such. Resident Evil 0 will have co-op. I like Resident Evil 0 more, you know, like you could play with your teammate or buddy, play and you could survive. How a survival horror would look like that thing has ever become like a prediction that I'm guessing. Like that's how all my direction is with the Resident Evil and how I got from with when I play and notice the difference between the Resident Evil 1 Deadly Science than Resident Evil 1996. This is hard, you know? This is hard. It's, you see? Different. This song different. This is like a movie universe. How The Last of Us got its inspiration. Something like there's already zombies. Two of them here. You know? Because Alpha Team already come late. Too much for them to handle, and that's why they did a welcome reconciliation. Still could they could do another movie, for my opinion, my guess, another another movie reboot, just to see Joe, and Chris and but characters that look like them exactly, 100%. Jill also, and Rebecca. There's already Rebecca and Billy. They were not gonna do that directly. They're in different movies, not characters. It would have been, but they're already doing other movies, so they won't do a Resident Evil original like this. And like Jill, um, Chris, like this, I don't know how hard it is in this Deadly Silence. I don't know how hard it is the universe of Resident Evil, you know? There's zombies already popping out, but not like how like the multiplayer. There's a lot of zombies. The mansion, the multiplayer, and there's like a timer here, countdown. That would make sense. Well, not like Resident 3, I could see there's a timer could uh them surviving because they already say that if you don't escape, you get occupancy be gone. It's like that. Player game over for them and they have to do all over again. That would be like that correction. I'm glad I gave it 10 out of 10. Different. I just want to show that part. Richard kill off. I want to show the zombie that I know and the universe, the time in the Resident Evil 3 PlayStation would have gone even further with the original Resident Evil 3, the movie from the original. That is like a movie for me. Was more like a movie action slash horror combined balance. There was like timer. It will be a timer. It did show dialogue. It did show what time month that the character was in Raccoon City. How long they stay there. They show the month and date. They show like October and something. Then the final countdown begins. The timer starts. It could be a level where a timer shows how long um it, how long the player will take. Then if you don't escape and you don't have your items or something like that, or a multiplayer where Nemesis is Nemesis, um, uh, he could enter doors. He could also camp. I see why they don't want to do that. Nemesis would have camped the player in the uh, safe room, and then the player will lose, or the countdown there will be a countdown, and then a match. How the story goes in Resident 3 original. Yeah, game over for the player because it's difficult. That probably be a like rebirth thing, similar to Resident Evil Deadly Silence, similar to that, but didn't call it that. Like I'm not a beta tester. I'm not explain my prediction would be, it would have been if it was a prediction. This for the Resident Evil 1 remake and 0 with co-op, multiplayer, or mansion survival horror similar to Resident Evil Outbreak. Um, Menu option to pick player or disable blocking the door so that your teammate can't do that to you. Team playing and play as a team. You know how Resident Evil Zero is. There's more zombies in Resident Evil Zero than Resident Evil One. It did show zombies here. It's like this, but from Arkham City. If it was a game, Arkham City was a game, it would be like that. That movie universe would be like that, and you see it. That's why the viewer is watching the movie is like that. For me, it's like that. And Arkham City, there was more zombie. The character Raphael almost got killed off. It's like that, you know. It won't be a full playthrough. Just something. No, it won't be a full playthrough of this. Just explain. I don't have enough bullets. Well, that's why this wasted so quickly because the zombies fight harder. Like Jill didn't have grenades, doesn't have defense even. If it was like, I could see if a zombie bite Jill is not infected in the beginning. But if the zombie bite them, I think they would be infected. But they could turn zombie too. They need to find the herb to stop it. But I don't know how it will be for Resident Evil 1. That type of thing, will it be like similar to Resident Evil Outbreak? Will be like, is it gonna be similar to that mechanic of that bite, the bite of the zombie Resident Evil 1? But was that'd be good to see. I mean,